Well, staying in the state of Alabama, Shane, let's kick it on down to Tuscaloosa, where, hey, I got bad news for the rest of the SEC because I'm starting to buy into old Bill O'Brien. I don't know about you, Shane, but, of course, he's the big question. I don't want to say question mark, but just the storyline heading into the season. How does he adapt after being in the NFL for so long? And, it's been several years since he's been in the college game. How do they adjust after having Steve Sarkisian, who, he was, you may have concerns about him being a head coach, but he was just so damn good as an offensive play caller last year. And that's during his first meetup. We don't get Bill O'Brien. We don't get any of the coordinators or assistants down at Alabama very often. So this is the one time a year they get to speak. So had to throw up these comments from Bill O'Brien. Talked about Bryce Young and kind of what makes him special. And, the relationship that he has. I really like the fact, Shane, that it's not all about, the quarterback's got to gain his trust. Right. He's got to gain the quarterback's trust. It's got to be a mutual thing. So I really like that. And the fact that he said, they've been so successful at Alabama. He'd be a fool to come in there and try to change up the offense to do whatever the hell he wanted to do. And that's not the plan there in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, hey, Bill, I just wonder what makes Bryce Young unique as a quarterback and among quarterbacks you've coached?
Yeah, a lot of these guys, everybody's different. Everybody's got their own unique way of playing the game, their own style of playing. I think when you look at high school football now and you think about the way that high school offenses are run and whether it's spread offenses or, how they operate from the sideline, getting the play in from the sideline, there's just a lot of things that go into how a lot of these guys play, their style. And Bryce, what stands out to me about Bryce is he's been very well coached. He was very well coached in high school, very well coached here last year at Alabama. He's a very bright young man. He works really hard. He's a really good teammate. He cares about the team. And I say that about the whole quarterback room. When you talk about the whole room, Paul Tyson, Jalen Milroe, Braxton Barker, and Stone Hollenbeck, it's a really good room. They care about the team. They all understand their roles on the team and what they have to do individually to get better, to help the team get better. And it's been fun to coach that room.
Bill, I was talking to Christian Hackenberg this spring. He was very complimentary of you. He really enjoyed the relationship that you guys built. He said that to be successful, to play for you, there's got to be a level of trust between you and the quarterback. What goes into that, and how do these quarterbacks start earning your trust?
Yeah, I appreciate Hack saying those things. Hack was a very special player to coach for me while I was at Penn State. I think the quarterback position, the way it's evolved over time, it's really a coach on the field, and that's the way it's been here at Alabama and Alabama's offense, and that's the offense we're running. We're running Alabama's offense, and the quarterback, he has to be very well prepared from practice to practice, from meeting to meeting, and then quite obviously in the games, because there's going to be a lot of things with all the multiplicity that you see on defense these days, and especially from our defense every single day. You've got to be able to adjust. You've got to be able to communicate with your teammates, and there has to be a trust developed. Not only a trust of me trusting the quarterback, but the quarterback trusting, our offensive staff and me, that we're putting them in the right position to make the right decision. So it's a two-way street when it comes to trust, and that's why that position is so much fun to coach.
Bill, since you've been there, what have you learned about the evolution of the Alabama offense? Like, what looked familiar, what maybe wasn't, and how are you hoping to add to it?
Yeah, I think that Coach Saban, made a good point a couple of weeks ago about that at the SEC Media Days, and he's talked to me about that a little bit, and how it has evolved over time, and how each coordinator's put their own touch on it. But at the end of the day, it's the Alabama offense, and when they went from more of a pro style to more of a spread style, and when Coach Kiffin was here, and then obviously Coach Loxley and Coach Dayball, and obviously last year Coach Sarkisian, it's evolved over time with all these great offensive minds that have been here. Every year is different. I think in the end it comes down to who your players are, what can they do best, who your quarterback is, what can he do best, and what's best for the team. So no year is like any other year. So this year will be very different than any other year, and that's just the way it is in football. It's the way it's always been in my career, and these guys are working hard every single day to try to improve.
All right, Shane, so, just based on those comments, you kind of get an idea of what I was talking about. I mean, the rest of the SEC might be in trouble. They probably were already, but I love these comments from Bill O'Brien. What'd you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, could you imagine Bill O'Brien coming down there to Saban's Lake House, and there's 25 national championship rings laid out there? It just said, hey, we're not reinventing the wheel down here. This is a stopgap till you go to your next job. We got some great players. Let's keep getting them the ball. And that's the NFL mentality. Mm-hmm. If you look at the NFL, it's not really it's a team, but it's getting your best players opportunities during the game, and that's how you win these games. And that's exactly what Alabama has been doing, and that's what they're going to continue to do, even if Bill's down there.
Yeah, and I think that's why Saban brought him in, because he knew this was a guy that knew what the hell he was doing, a smart guy who's worked with Coach Bill Belichick up there in New England. So if you work for Bill Belichick, you're good enough to, that's one of Saban's good buddies. So I'm sure he came with a glowing recommendation. You know what?
Oh, for sure, man, for sure. And they're in good hands. He's ran high potent offense, so he's not going to have any problem running that machine down there in Alabama.